Hey y'all, this is Marley K. Hope y'all are well. Got an update for you from the Valley. Got to talk in code a little bit. But this is really important because it is going to happen next month. I've been telling you a lot of big things are have been happening, uh, especially with the Pope. He's been globetrotting around the globe. He's speaking. He's in everything. He's in politics. He's in social issues. He's in religion. He's trying to merge everybody together. And if you are a believer of the way of the Most High, you understand what's happening. We're basically living the book of Revelation, the book of Daniel, Matthew, um, 24. Just a lot of things are happening. And these are things that we need to be paying attention to because they are also tied to present truth or present truths that we are experiencing, such as, what's going on October 4th. Ladauto Si is coming out 2.0. They're doing the national emergency broadcast testing, which is not anything that's abnormal, but the fact that it's going to be on televisions for only 1 minute, but on cell phones and emitted from cell phone towers for 30 minutes is really interesting. In addition to, you know, if you've been paying attention to the push to be locked down again, there are just a lot of things happening. A lot of bank branches closing, the shift from the dollar to digital currencies, and the de-dollarization that's happening because of BRICS and other nations exchange, trading and doing businesses in their own currencies. So a lot of stuff is happening, and Babylon is falling. It's a gradual, slow fall. And, one reason I think they chose this time of the year because people are distracted. It's after vacation time. People are getting the kids into school. The holiday season is coming. You got Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Labor Day, football season, sports. Sports is a big distraction for a lot of people. Um, and people are kind of off kilter because of the last 3 years. But this ecumenical movement that's happening, and it's happening very quickly, but it's also happening like, you know, in your face, but nobody's really talking about it. So let's get into it so that we can connect some dots here. And for you Christians, people who consider themselves or call themselves Christians, along with other denominations, if you don't understand what's happening, for you, but depending on what you believe or what you've practiced or what you've been taught, you may think this common good joining together is a good thing, but what they're talking about is just another extension or arm of common good. And if you go back to my videos that I talk about common good is not good. Common good is basically you own nothing and you'll be happy. And you're going to be ruled over in this last government. It'll be a global government, but it's going to be tyrannical. It's going to be the worst government in the history of the world. So we need to pay attention to what's happening in Rome, and we need to pay attention to the news that's coming out. And every time the Pope speaks, you need to pay attention to what he says, because he says a lot of gobbledygook, a lot of word salad. And to me, it's the equivalent of government speak. If you know anything about government speak, they say a whole bunch of words to say nothing. Sometimes they say a whole bunch of words to keep you confused. And so I kind of feel like now when the Pope speaks, that's how he speaks. They have a very unclear, flowery language, and you'll see that in this article. So this is from the Catholic News Agency. It came out on yesterday, September 25th. This is the Diocese of Rome. Thousands expected at the Vatican for ecumenical prayer vigil ahead of the synod. So this came from Washington, D.C., the Washington newsroom. So it's a big deal that it comes from there. And in my opinion, it ties into this whole global agenda. So before I get started, though, I want to talk about the meaning of ecumenical. So the meaning of ecumenical, when they talk about ecumenical, or these, well, let me just read you the definition. It is promoting or relating to unity among the world's Christian churches. So if you know anything about Catholicism and Christianity and some of these other religions, like, they don't believe the same thing. Like, the Catholic Church has their own um, 10 commandments. Their 10 commandments are totally different from the ones that were in the Torah. And so, because of the differences, it's not really possible to come together. But because the beast knows how to talk and confuse, and they use language to confuse people, and erasure of history and just confusion. This is just, it's antichrist. Not the antichrist, but everything about it is anti um Yahusha. Um you can't really figure out what's going on because it's all confusing, and because we've been trained for generations on how to be good Christians, and they've ingrained in us that we have to be good, we got to love everybody, and all this stuff. And that's totally the opposite of what the Bible tells us, because the Bible specifically talks about enemies. Yah talks about enemies. So if you have enemies, that means you cannot love everybody, because people are your enemies. Like, you do have to love your enemies, but the fact that they have this designation as enemies also means that you need to watch them. So a lot of the transliteration in the Bible is not correct, but again, that is what leads us to such confusion, because we're thinking that we have to be with our enemies, and like, this body clearly is the enemy of humanity, but especially for the children of Israel. So we have no business being under them, uniting with them, because they're the reason that we are in captivity uh, as we speak. So to join with them for us is foolish. It's like it's like an extra set of chains. And so we just need to kind of understand the history of this church, the Catholic Church. We need to understand the history in context to us, the children of Israel, especially Judah, house of Jacob. And African Americans here in America, those of us who are scattered all across, the globe, we need to understand that what is coming if we go under those people will be far worse than slavery. It is going to be a different type of enslavement, but it's going to happen to everybody across the globe, not just Black people. We're already oppressed, so we already know what the deal is. Hopefully we'll be delivered from that soon. But the rest of the globe is going under the type of oppression and extraction of resources, and basically persecution that we had to go through when we were in captivity for our disobedience. But it's going to be a different type of captivity for them, because this is a captivity for following after the beast. And so this is one of these things where you need to not follow after the beast and understand what is happening. So this says the Diocese of Rome on Monday said it is anticipating thousands of pilgrims in attendance at an ecumenical prayer vigil at the Vatican later this week. with the event scheduled ahead of the start of the historic synod taking place in Rome in October. So this is where they're getting ready to do all the dirty stuff. They're going to come out with the Ladauto Si 2.0, and they're probably getting ready to, tie everything to the climate, worshiping the stars and the sun and the earth and the air and all this stuff. And probably try to get America to declare some type of national climate emergency. So I anticipate a lot of stuff is going to be happening real soon, just based on some other pieces that I see moving when it comes to kids being out of school, the extra food stamp benefits or the SNAP benefits that are starting next month. So something is coming. They've been planning it for the last 3-4 months, and I just see an uptick or an acceleration in what the physical plans, this spiritual piece of it. I think this prayer, which people don't necessarily realize, it may be some type of ritual for them to have everybody come together, unite, relinquish their powers to this beast system. And then the beast gets up and says on October the 4th, hey, this is what we doing now. I'm the man. So I don't know if things going to happen like that, but I'm just saying, it really feels as though these things are lining up in a way that's not accidental. These things are planned and orchestrated for a reason. So anyway, it says the Roman Vicariate said in a press release that approximately 3,000 people are expected to attend the event, Together Gathering of the People of God, being hosted in that city over Friday and Saturday. So Friday and Saturday is what? Sabbath. So that is interesting to me anyway. And also Friday and Saturday will be the 30th and the 1st. The 30th this is actually a Feast of Tabernacle. So the fact that all these activities are going on during this time is really interesting to me. So it says the event is advertised on its website as an ecumenical prayer vigil that will take place in Rome in the presence of Pope Francis and representatives of different churches to unite us. Here it is, to unite us in praise and silence, in listening to the word. Whose word? The prayer service is occurring just days after the launch of the 16th General Assembly of the Synod of Bishops, which will take place in Rome over the course of October. The vigil will be an opportunity to entrust the work of the Synod to the Holy Spirit, the diocese said. The Vatican said earlier this month that the event would emphasize the centrality, this is one, unified, one, of prayer. You're going to center prayer in the synodal process and underline the articulation between the synodal path and the ecumenical path. Hundreds of visitors are expected from numerous countries, including France, Hungary, Vietnam, and the United States. Nearly 500 are projected to come from Poland alone. The event is taking place under the auspices of the Vatican, with the Diocese of Rome having also organized several welcoming events for participants. The diocese said that on Friday, prayer vigils in the local communities and moments of fellowship and fraternity have been planned on, as well as on Saturday, a walk from the Basilica of St. John Lateran to the tomb of the Apostle Peter. Worshiping other gods on the Sabbath. That is what people will be doing when they go to the Vatican and walk and do whatever they have planned for them on Saturday. So the visual for this, if you are awakened and you understand the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, is like already problematic. So anybody who's going, I would just be like looking at them sideways, but also looking at them from a perspective of, they're in apostasy and you shouldn't follow them. The overall synod itself, dubbed the Synod on Synodality, due to its focus on synodality or collaboration and participation among the Catholic faithful in the furtherance of the church's mission. So of the Catholic Church's mission, not of the Most High's mission. So they're telling you that their mission is not the same as Yah's mission. Is occurring over the course of several years, with Pope Francis having announced the start of the process in 2021. It is expected to conclude in 2024. What does that mean? They began in 2021 to 2024. That's 3 years. So that means whatever they're planning is getting ready to be accelerated. And this is what we have to keep an eye out for. All this 2030 talk, all this, that is meant to throw people off. I don't think anything is going to make it to 2030. I think whatever's going to happen is going to happen between now and 2026. Too much legislation, too many other pieces that have come out have had 2024, 2025, and 2026 dates or deadlines. And so I think 2030 is a way to throw people off, to make people think they have more time. I personally don't think people underestimate how fast these people are going to move over the next year. Even between now and the end of the year, I think a lot of stuff is going to happen. Catastrophic stuff. And people are not going to be ready. So that's just my opinion. Next month's gathering of bishops is the first of 2 major assemblies of the prelates, with the second projected for October of next year. So October of next year, they're going to get together again. And that's probably going to not make whatever announcement. But we'll see. We'll see whatever Ladauto Si 2.0 says. I'll make sure I cover that here. Because for those of us who are believers of the way of Yah, we need to keep watch on this beast, all of the beast. It's a big old thing, so we got to watch all of it. So it says the bishops next month are expected to begin addressing numerous questions raised by synodal guidance documents, including how the church can be fully a sign and instrument of union with God and of the unity of all humanity. That ain't what the Most High asked them to do. So if you read your Bible, we're not supposed to unify with everybody, because everybody don't have the same ways of Yah. Everybody don't believe the same thing. Everybody doesn't live the same way. So, anytime you hear about this unity and all and humanity, those are like flowery words to confuse you and make you believe that what they're doing is a good thing, when really, truly, in all actuality, it goes against the ways of the and the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Like, we're called to be set apart, not with everybody. We're called to be light. And when you're with everybody, it means light and darkness is mixed together. Demons and witches and skinwalkers and all these other things, these low frequency, low vibration people are all mixed in. So when you talk about all humanity, you can't be with all humanity. Light and darkness don't go together. So it says, as well as how we can better share gifts and tasks in the service of the gospel. And so, when we talk about this particular body, you can't trust nothing that come out of it. You better know exactly what they're talking about, and you better know exactly what your Bible says you're supposed to be doing, or the Torah. But you cannot go by what these people say, because they're telling you one thing, but it's tied to a totally different agenda, and we just don't believe the same thing. So, like, we just have no business following them, but we do have to watch them. And so that's what I'm doing. I am watching. We're going to all watch. So it says, in January, announcing this month's ecumenical vigil, Pope Francis invited brothers and sisters of all Christian denominations to participate. The path to Christian unity and the path of synodal conversion of the church are linked, the Holy Father said at the time. So you see what he's saying. You gonna convert. And anybody who is following, or if you're a part of a body that is a part of this ecumenical movement, the goal of the Catholic Church is to convert them. Everybody's going back under them if they haven't already. So if you are attending a church and you understand who the beast is, you understand what the beast's role is in end times prophecy, and you remain in that denomination or in the Christian faith, then you're marked. You too are marked. It's a different type of marking, but it's still a mark. So it's really important for you to understand the history of the Catholic Church, who they are as it relates to end time prophecy, who the Pope is as it relates to end time prophecy, his role as it relates to end time prophecy in the nations, and how the church and state have merged and are speaking as one, whether we want to acknowledge that or not. You have to pay attention to this, and then you have to make a decision. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just saying, if you stand, your silence is consent. Staying is also consent. So it's time for people to start making hard decisions. I'm sure after October the 4th and the Ladauto Si 2.0 comes out and we get to read it and understand what they are saying without saying, then it may be a little easier, but it may not be, because a lot of the stuff, when I read Ladauto Si 2.0, because I'm so accustomed to reading government stuff, and I just know they just use a lot of unnecessary excessive words, and I was like, this is just a bunch of BS, just in your spirit. If you are awakened, you could just tell, like, this is not anything that I should be really tied up with. And it just doesn't sound right. It doesn't feel right. If you are led by the Holy Spirit, it just don't feel right. So in any event, the Pope is talking. The Pope is getting ready to do stuff. A lot of stuff is happening. The beast is coming together and getting ready to speak with one voice. These are like the final pieces that have to be put together in order for this new agenda to work. You're going to have to figure out how you're going to be non-compliant. You're going to have to figure out how you are going to stand. You're going to have to figure out if you're going to be able to stand. Some people not going to be able to do this. They going to take that mark and not be sealed. But for those of us who are understanding the assignment, we just keep them watch, and you understand where we are in the big scheme of things. So stand fast, put your full armor on, keep repenting, keep praying, keep seeking the Most High, obey those laws, statutes, and commandments, and make sure that you are not associating yourself with the ecumenical movement, because that's going to be really dangerous. A lot of people are going to be marked because of their association with this movement, and they are not aware. There's no reason for anybody to not be aware. We got the whole Harriet Tubman internet out here free. You could just look at it and it's free. While it's free and telling half of the truth. So, for people to say they didn't know because they chose not to read their Bible and get understanding and ask for wisdom and knowledge, and because they did not watch present truth, things that are happening right now in real time that are telling us, where we are in the big scheme of things. So keep watch, family. The Pope is talking. You need to pay attention to what he's saying. You need to listen to anything that has to do with this ecumenical movement, and find out who's a part of it. One thing I didn't do was go to the website. I don't know if it's going to work. My internet has been so crappy for the last couple of weeks. Every time I try to click on something, it works. Sometimes it doesn't, which is why I haven't really been doing a whole lot of videos. But in any event, I'll put the link to this and see, like, it's not working now. I'll put the link to this article in the description so that you can read it. And please make sure you take the time to click on the links in it, because it has other information like the website where the ecumenical prayer vigil will be held, and it may tell you who's going to be there, and you can learn about those workshops and the synod on synodality. I don't know what that is because I'm not Catholic, but it don't sound like nothing good. I know they're talking about keeping it a secret, so anytime you got to be doing stuff in secret, it's just going to be some BS afoot. Anywho, keep watch, y'all. The devil is talking. He's talking. He's forming his head. They're speaking and just doing all mannerism of everything. And we need to be ready whenever they make their announcements. And we need to stand together, unified, no matter where we are, and be strong in our convictions, because we're going to be challenged and we are going to be chastised, not only by this system, but even by people that you've known your entire life who are believers. So just make sure you're ready. Be strong, keep watch, keep praying, keep prepping, keep seeking the Most High. Pray for your protection of your brothers and sisters all over the world, scattered. A lot of our people are still walking around confused and dazed, believing in Babylon, and they're not going to stop believing until it actually crumbles. So we're seeing cracks, but over the next couple of weeks, I expect a lot of things to happen. All right, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified every time I upload new content. Follow me on Rumble and Odyssey. Also, in the event that I am suspended, next time I'm suspended, it will be 2 weeks. A lot of people are getting suspended for talking about present truths. And a lot of good people that I've followed over the last couple of years are becoming stronger in their convictions. Is making me happy in my spirit, because people are serious about looking out for one another. You can tell the people who are out here teaching and talking and sharing what they are learning, so that we all can be educated and stay aware of what's happening, so that we can protect ourselves, because we don't have anyone except for one another. And we have to rely on the kindness and the goodness of humanity right now to survive what's coming. There are a lot of whistleblowers, a lot of people who are speaking out and being persecuted. So make sure you take the time to watch people's content who are teaching, and leave comments, leave feedback, like the videos, because people are risking their lives, literally risking their livelihoods, literally, to do the right thing and to tell you and me what's going on and how we can protect ourselves and our families. So shout out to anybody who does that. um, I'm eternally grateful. I get something from that. It encourages me to keep going, because a lot of times you'll find that you don't have a whole lot of people. When you're chosen, it's a lonely walk, because a lot of people don't want to listen, and sometimes you have to move differently, and that makes you isolated. Um, People see your glow, people see your gift, but they often don't understand it, and so it leaves a lot of people confused, but also makes a lot of people fearful, because you're not fearful. You're willing to stick your neck out and take a risk that other people are not willing to do. Regardless of the finances, you're willing to study, to show yourself approved. You're willing to gain wisdom and knowledge so that you can share with others, and be the watchman on the wall, so you can, sound the trumpet when trouble's coming. Even though foolish people won't listen, at least you won't have blood on your hands. So shout out to all the people who pay attention and keep watch. This is Marley K. Love y'all to pieces. I'm still here. Got a lot of stuff going on, and I'm going to talk to y'all about it. It's really important, especially for my brothers. Just We got to have a talk. It's auntie mama talk. So I'll be bringing a video to you shortly about it. All right. Again, this is Marley K. Love y'all, and I am out.